right, so really quick update on the tractor. It is threatening to rain today. Actually, I felt a drop just now, so I've got the tractor covered up and it's not going to come out today, but just wanted to do a quick update and a couple of things I've discovered about the tractor. One thing, I mentioned this in the last video, it needs this it has a stabilizer bar on the left and it is missing it on the right. Got that ordered and I got a shipping notification for that the other day. So that is on its way, along with the correct tube for the air cleaner, which is shipping along with it, and an oil filter so I can do an oil change on it. Now, other things that I've noticed that it needs. When it's running, there is an excessive amount of exhaust gas coming from the oil filler. This is obviously gummed up a bit, and this is the breather. And a certain amount should be coming out of here. All engines do a little bit, but there seems to be quite an excessive amount. So it probably means that there's a lot of blow by, and this is going to need to be rebuilt at some point. That can probably wait. In the meantime, I have created a floorboard for this side, which seems to work out pretty well. But the big thing is over here. Now, I had this up in the air, and this wheel is actually, I don't know if you can tell. You can hear it. It's a little loose. So I jacked it up, and this wheel is indeed loose. And if we look here, we can see the nut is actually loose on the shaft itself. Now, you might think, okay, well, nut's just loose, right? Doesn't make much sense to me that the nut's just loose because it has its clip intact, so it shouldn't have backed off. So my guess is that whoever had this tractor before, the guy sold it to me, likely, actually backed it off a little bit or didn't tighten it down as far as it could be, because the hub is probably worn and the spline is probably worn, probably causing the hub to sit too deep on the spline, and that means that the hub itself will start to rub if it gets tightened up too much, and then it'll cause drag on the wheel. So I'm going to jack this up after the rain, probably Monday, and I'll tighten this down. I'm going into town tomorrow, and I'm going to pick up a 2-inch socket and a breaker bar, and I'm going to tighten this down and see if it causes drag on this wheel. If it does, I'll know that either the hub or the spline or both are worn and need to be replaced. And probably what I'll do, I've seen online a couple people have talked about shimming the spline, and I might try to do that to try to take up the slack. And then eventually I'll replace it. The parts aren't too expensive. Looked online, the hub itself, I think the whole thing, hub and axle shaft, was something in the area of $250. So not too expensive for the parts, a little bit of a project to do. So might take this off on Monday. We'll take this off on Monday if the just tightening the nut doesn't do the job, which I don't expect it to do. Then I'll make some shims and maybe do another video showing that, and hopefully that will be effective at least in the short term. And then in the long term, I'll order the brand new axle shaft and hub for this, along with all the associated bearings and seals.